on the ESPN magazine, it showed this quarterback, and this quarterback's name is Jimmy Clausen, and one side of this ESPN magazine was advertising the whole movie, Avatar. Avatar is obviously a very, very, very big movie that they said is going to break a number of records, and it was promoted by Disney. It's a computer-generated movie, and so Hollywood is pushing this Avatar. It's advertising Avatar, and the word Avatar, the word means the incarnation of a Hindu god. They serve many different gods.
Yeah. Well, basically, the scenario takes a few years, in the future, where Earthlings are able to travel to other planets, and the avatars live on this planet called Pandora. And it doesn't sustain human life, but it sustains these avatars, or the Na'vi people, or something like that. The blue people that you can see. They're about 8-9 feet tall, taller than human beings. And so the Earthlings' whole plot is they have these minerals that they're trying to go after. It's like worth millions and millions of dollars just for a little piece of mineral, and it's located on their planet. So their whole plan is to get to know the Na'vi people, the native people of that planet, by becoming an avatar. And the way that they become an avatar is the human beings will sleep in this little incubation type thing, and they already have the Navatar clone growing, and it's like a clone, and it's growing in this thing. And when a human being gets into incubation, they can travel their soul into the Na'vi body, and they can take that avatar and release them onto the planet. And it's a human in an avatar body. It's a human in a Na'vi body, so they can go amongst the native people in that planet. And so the whole movie is the guy, and he's exploring the Na'vi planet, trying to get to know the Na'vi people. And the thing about it is, this guy's wheelchair bound. Really, in the movie, he's wheelchair bound, and he can't walk. But when he becomes an avatar, he's able to walk and jump and run and have so much fun in on that planet. He meets a Na'vi girl, and the Na'vi people didn't accept him at first, but the gods of that planet, or the forest god, accepts him. And the story
is a forest god.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, it was like Maya or something like that. A guy, Maya, some name. It's a real true Hindu name or something like that, like some sort of god, like Maya or something like that. But there is some Hindu practices in there. You can see that they're taking it out of African religions and Indian religions and Hindu religions and putting it all into one. And so what I realized that is, that type of stuff really goes on. There's a spiritual aspect to it, most definitely, and there's definitely an error aspect to it. What I mean by that is, stuff like that really does happen in real life, where countries go into invade other countries to send out materials, and that's the surface. But when you really look into the movie, you see what Satan is trying to do, because a whole bunch of people like the movie because they see that as, well, that's what Britain used to do, go around and taking over people's countries and getting rid of the native people for their gold. And we know that aspect is true, but one thing that what we're going to be speaking about today is what Satan's plot for the movie is, that if you have no discernment, you will not realize.
Yeah, the core of this concept of Avatar is something that I believe that the enemy is perpetrating on mankind. And this is what I mean by that. Evolution teaches, or at least Darwinian evolution, it teaches that all species, all life forms come from a single life form, and that the universe basically began by chance. And so if the universe began by chance, if we really evolved from lower life forms and became this mature, evolving life form only to mature further, then it removes the concept of God. It destroys the concept of a judge. It destroys the concept of one who has purpose for all things. And so whereas the Bible declares that God created all things, evolution teaches that all things happen by chance. And by doing so replaces God as the highest being in all of the universe with mankind, as at least we know it, as the highest evolved creature. Or maybe they wouldn't even use that word creature, but as the highest evolved being, making mankind God. Though evolution teaches that we're really just evolved animals, evolved lower life forms. And so it strips mankind of his worth. And once mankind is stripped of his worth, once mankind is just an animal, then he has to find fulfillment, because now he's lost connection with God and can no longer be fulfilled. And now he must be fulfilled. And so he has to create his own little universe. So man becomes his own God, but is unfulfilled, and so has to allow a universe to be created that fits his imagination. And through that universe, he can, just like the man in the wheelchair, fulfill his own lusts and his own desires.
That's right. That's right.
One of the things I see is the devil is trying to do what I believe is control by distraction. And the first thing that the devil wants to do is seek out the weakest link. For instance, you know, most kids are the weakest link when it comes to these type of movies, because it's cartoon. You know, the kids see toys being made out. He came at the weakest link by distraction of being a creature talking to a human being. So we have to watch out for that, the control by distraction part of it. And one of the things that parents do wrong when it comes to these movies is tell our kids that we should allow them to build their imagination. And when we tell them to build their imagination, we tell them to build what is already evil in their heart and have their hope in these cartoons. Whether it's, you know, Superman, whether it's Captain Planet, whether it's Avatar, all of these cartoons, we miss the whole meaning and the message of this thing. Our kids begin to want to be these people that is being portrayed on these movie screens, these cartoons. And so it's just a major distraction that the devil is trying to gain control over. Oh, it's nothing. The kids just need imagination. But yet it's really distracting them off the real, like David mentioned earlier, the real and one and only true God. Because if we don't understand this concept that our hearts are evil, then we'll allow our imagination to run away anyway. We're allowed to go wherever we want to go, because you know what I'm saying, we believe personally that our imagination is good. And the reason why we want an incarnation of a Hindu god or something else to take us away, because we don't want anyone else to control who we are, dictate how we behave ourselves. If we create an incarnation or we create a false god, then we dictate how we live our lives. Yet, if God comes and we understand the true God, and he gives us laws to obey or give us a means of how we should live our life, then we're subject to that means. But if we create something, then we're not so subject to it. So if I can get in a utopia, create my own fantasy or live through a creature or avatar, then I'm not subject to anything.
Yeah.